Matthew 3:4. Autas de ha Ioannes, eken ta induma autu apa trikon camelu, kai zonen dermatinen periten asfun autu, he de trafe ein autu akrides kai meli agrian. We learn more about John the Baptist here. Now, John himself, or this very John, notice how that autos is intensifying the noun it's with, the proper noun John. So this very John was having, or had, that's the imperfect of echo, maybe we'll come back to that, had his clothing from the hairs of a camel. He was wearing a camel hair clothing, and immediately should be thinking about Elijah, shouldn't we, in 2 Kings 1:8, especially with the leather belt as well. So we're intended to hear in this description of John the Baptist an allusion to Elijah. John actually wore this kind of clothes, but he did so in the pattern of Elijah the prophet, right? What else did he have? He had one, clothing, and he had two. He had a zonain dermatinain. He had a leather or skin belt. He had a skin belt around his waist. And the food of him was, it's interesting, isn't it, that verb ain, that's the imperfect of ami. We might expect it over here, but literally now the food was of him. In other words, his food was, and then we have this compound predicate nominative. What was his food? It was akrides, locusts, like the grasshoppers, and wild honey, right? Locusts and wild honey was what he ate. I think we do have time to come back to this form, aken. It's a little bit tricky, isn't it? It's from the verb echo. And we remember, we've seen that before, that has an the root of echo is really sec, okay, sec. So when you form the imperfect of it, you have an epsilon plus the root, and then the intervocalic sigma drops out, and epsilon together becomes a. That's why it's spelled so strangely. But this very John was having his clothes from the hairs of a camel. So this perhaps a customary imperfect. Hey, this is how John dressed. This is how John dressed, and this is how John ate.